Hi and welcome to day 5 of World FND Awareness Month. So before I get started, I've given the dog a chewy ball and it squeaks. So if you hear anything, that's what it is. I'm sitting in the garden. There she goes. So thank you for all your love and support yesterday. I definitely feel a bit better today. And today's topic is the most difficult thing about FND. And I don't really know how to say that quickly, so I think it's the stigma around FND, and that historically it's a very misunderstood condition, and because there's little known about how the brain works, and because there's no structural problem in the brain itself, it has been assumed historically that patients with FND have control over their symptoms, which is absolutely categorically not the case. They now know that. There are now specific special MRIs that can show the malfunctioning of the brain as these episodes are happening. So there's now physical proof, I guess you'd call it. But for me personally, the realisation that I have a lot of internal ableism, or internal ableist thoughts that I have to catch that go through my mind. So, for example, I would definitely found it easier if I'd been diagnosed with a different condition, such as MS, for example, a structural third-party thing that you can blame. So when I was diagnosed with FND, and my first understandings of it was that, well, if there's no reason why I can't stand up, then I should just use my strength of will and stand up. I should just be able to do that. And the fact that I couldn't, I just blamed myself. I was so hard on myself, and I just felt like a failure, felt like a wuss, like I was making a big fuss about nothing, and we call that a squinny from where I'm from, if you've been a squinny. And I just felt like, pull your socks up, girl, there's no reason for this, so just stop doing it, just get on with it, and just take control of yourself. And the more I couldn't do that, the worse it got, and the more harsh I was with myself. So if I was doing that, you can imagine what the rest of the world is thinking. It's not just the public, it's the doctors and nurses that you interact with at hospitals and emergency rooms, A&E departments, things like that. They don't know. And I had a senior neurologist say to me, "We know this isn't real, so just stop doing it." He had no understanding of what FND is. I've had many people apologise who do know, who are specialists in the field since then, but unfortunately our brains are not wired to forget stuff like that. We forget all the good things, and we focus and hold on, we harbour those negative things. So it's very difficult. I have to actively discredit those things over and over again. So for me, the hardest thing about having FND is accepting that I have FND, and that FND in itself is good enough reason for me not to be able to walk. I don't need a further reason. I can't walk because my brain doesn't work properly. That's not my fault. That's not in my control. There are techniques that you can use to try and help your body not react in that way, which I do. But even with those techniques, the likelihood of recovery is quite low in somebody with FND. Me specifically, my case has been assessed, and I've been told I have a 20% chance at recovery. And even if I do recover, it's not curable, this condition. So I could relapse at any time, just the same, maybe not as bad, maybe worse even. People are completely incapacitated with this condition for many, many, many years, and some people never recover. Some people never have that let up from their symptoms. So I think for me the hardest thing is that internal voice that says, this isn't worth your symptoms, but it is. So let me know what your thoughts are. Thanks.